who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election.
None of your business.
Don't tell kids about it. Don't teach that in school. Don't push your agenda. Don't try to brainwash people.
I just want to say,
you're looking at me on the basis of my skin color.
So these recent years has introduced us to even more wokeness, and some celebrities are consuming the wokeness while others do the exact opposite and instead humble the woke people. So that's why we are taking a look at celebrities destroying woke people, starting with the famous actor Denzel Washington in an interview where a woke reporter decided to start asking him about race.
I wanted to just ask you, though, about the issue of race relations, because the film touches upon that. Right now, under President Obama, over the last 8 years, in your mind, have race relations improved under his leadership?
Race relationships have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are. I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love. The President of the United States can't legislate us to liking each other. We have to step forward and ask questions about each other and engage. There's no law that says, because I'm president, you all got to get along now. So it's up to us.
And there's been so many protests in America, especially during the election. Black Lives Matter movement, for example, and those issues. Has that movement in particular, the Black Lives Matter movement, helped race relations or not in America?
Well, listen, we live in America. And in America, we have the freedom to express ourselves. We shouldn't take that for granted. So whatever the movements are, whether you agree with them or don't, they have the right to express themselves. So that's one of the great things about being in this country, that you do have the right to protest.
So Denzel Washington says that they all live in a free country, which means that they can protest if they want, but America is a free and just country, and instead of going out of their way to be upset about all these problems, they should show gratitude towards living in the country of the free. But this isn't the first time that Denzel Washington has come out against wokeness, since in this interview, he went after mainstream media and left the interviewer surprised. Just watch.
Long-term effect of too much information, the polarization of the electorate, a meaner-spiritedness.
False information as well, because the whole fake news thing.
Pick one. It's not just one. That's the flavor of the day. Every day is something else. People have to understand, are you using your device or is your device using you? Can you put it down? Can you turn it off?
You're talking about literally the places people get their information from.
I don't care what information. Pick one. Phone, television. It used to be news. Now it's opinion news. Oh, glasses. We have 3 experts on the right, 3 on the left. Let's discuss. Ooh, light bulbs. We have 3 experts on the right. That's not news. That's opinion news. Well, over and over and over. Cycle. What is the long-term effect of too much information? If you're sitting there and you're thinking it's the gospel, what I'm saying to people is, to all of us, I'm not knocking the phone. What I'm saying is we have to understand, we have to at least ask ourselves, around the world, you here in England, wherever you are, what is it doing to us?
Denzel Washington didn't hold back at all about the fake news, and even went after the modern devices and misinformation by mainstream media. But another famous actor that speaks out about wokeness is Matthew McConaughey, who in an interview both went after cancel culture and the woke Hollywood, but he even called out Jordan Peterson. Just watch him say some crazy things about the woke.
It's what we're doing in society now. I mean, we're making people persona non grata because of something they do, or and that is right now deemed wrong, or it's the hot point and a hot topic right now. You can't erase someone's entire existence. Where the heck does some forgiveness go? And again, that, like optimism, it's not erasing the crisis. It's not saying there wasn't a problem first. It's not saying that there's parts of the Bible that people have bastardized and used in the wrong way. But you don't throw the whole book out and say, well, it's all bad then. It's all used, because it's false.
Have you encountered difficulty expressing this in Hollywood? Hollywood is predominantly left-wing and very secular or Jewish in some circles, but it's not like a place where Christian fundamental values are espoused openly. A lot of Jewish folks are in Hollywood, and that seems to be okay with a lot of people, but some other religions, particularly if you're a fundamentalist Christian or if you have Christian values, a lot of people frown upon that. Why do you think that is, and have you had difficulties with that?
I don't know if I haven't had difficulties. I have had, and I won't throw any people under the bus, but I have had moments where I was on stage receiving an award in front of my peers in Hollywood. And there were people in the crowd that I have prayed with before dinners many times. And when I thank God, I saw some of those people go to clap, but then notice that, whoa, this could be a bad thing on my resume, and then sit back on their hands.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen people read the room and go, whoa, that wouldn't bode well for me in the future. If for getting a job or getting votes or what have you. Yeah. I have seen that. I've witnessed that. I don't judge them for it. I just wish, that it seems like a silly argument. One of the things that our people, some people in our industry, not all of them, but there's some that go to the left so far as our friend Jordan Peterson, who's back, saw his video being back, that go to the illiberal left side so far that is so condescending and patronizing to 50% of the world that need the empathy that the liberal side gives and should give. To throw somebody's, illegitimize them because they say they are a believer.
Matthew McConaughey gets our respect for speaking his mind about topics which can get really controversial, and that's why he is seen as a leader. However, you can't miss out on this insanely heated debate with Candace Owens, who is a popular celebrity and entertainer that often get into highly controversial debates. She was interviewed, and let's just say that the narrative of the interview quickly turned into a mess.
Does it bother you that there's no prominent African Americans in the White House?
We have to stop believing in this illusion that because somebody is black, they represent my interests. We learned that lesson via Barack Obama. I mean, he was in the White House for 8 years and didn't do much for the black community. So I'm not interested in the color of people's skin. So I'm interested in what they do and what they accomplish.
I'm really interested in your perspective here. Yeah. So to you having, you don't look at, it is an administration that has more white men than past administrations have had. Yeah, but that doesn't bother you. You don't think that diversity is important?
No, not at all. I think that we have to stop believing that diversity is the color of people's skin, because if you have the Black Caucus, for example, which didn't stand up and applaud when Trump announced that we had the lowest ever unemployment in the black community, that's concerning to me. So a big part of the conversation that we open is in making people understand that that's an illusion that the left has sold, that somehow because somebody matches my skin color, because somebody matches my gender, they have my best interest at heart.
In a tweet you originally said you thought there was zero chance conservatives sent I think you took that tweet down.
Yeah.
But you later added, it isn't conservatives that are chasing people down in offices and restaurants. It isn't conservatives that have weaponized as a means to political gain. I stand by my opinion that when it comes to political violence, the left is the likely culprit.
That's correct. So we've seen that.
You think that it was the left or Democrats who sent these pipe bombs?
I think we're all entitled to have an opinion. We don't have any facts surrounding this, and Twitter is a venue where you're allowed to express your opinions and beliefs. And
but just to be clear, so that's not based on any facts. That's just your
Of course, it couldn't possibly be based on facts. We don't have any evidence other than the fact that they're investigating it. But
I'll go to Candace's.
I do want to finish this by just saying that it is my belief, when you take a look at the conversation, the things that have gone on, and the increasing violence gone on, it has purely been a leftist tactic to stall things, delay the administration, and to fearmonger. So as a matter of opinion, I do believe that when we get to the resolution, the bottom of this, and we do have facts, we're going to say that this is orchestrated by the left, but by no means is that opinion rooted in any proof, because we don't have anything yet to go off of.
I could certainly point to Charlottesville. I could point to other acts that happen. I could point to Dylan Roof. I mean, there's certainly acts of violence that have come from
not a conservative.
But do you see how far back you have to go to do that?
Charlottesville?
Yeah, that's literally starting at the beginning of his administration. Look at all of the things that have gone on.
I don't want to have this debate, because this can come from both sides.
No, I'm just saying that you brought it up.
But I do want to ask you, though.
I'm just answering the question.
I mean, you've got a big platform.
I do.
Right? and you have a powerful voice.
Thank you.
And kudos to you for creating that.
Thank you.
How do you view the responsibility that comes with that?
I view the responsibility of just being a person that maintains my ability to have an opinion, that I express an opinion, and no means that I say that I have just found the facts and this is related.
Yeah.
And I always
You
reserve
said
the
there's
right.
0% chance.
Yeah. I said I'm going to go out and say that there is a 0% chance that this was sent by conservatives. I find all the things that are going on, the caravan of illegals, the packages that are being sent, Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation.
And just to clarify, you think the caravan too was organized by Democrats?
I find it to be incredibly suspicious timing to know that they are meant to get to the border on the day of the election. Again, this is not rooted in fact, but you do have to understand I am very much entitled to my opinion, and Twitter is my platform.
Candace, I have one more.
Just one more here, because I wanted to get to know you before you came on. And I'm really interested in your perspective because I think you're a fascinating person. There was another tweet that said the Democratic Party is comprised of white liberals.
That is correct.
Am I white liberal?
Well, let's go back and let's say, I will say this, that many people in the party are not aware of their own race. Let's go back to an early part of this conversation where you said to me, are you concerned about the color in the White House? Why would you ask me that question?
Because you speak about black issues.
No, but why would you ask me? But let's get to really the nucleus of this. Why did you ask me that question today?
Because I'm
why did you feel that I needed to be
perspective.
concerned about that?
Because you're bringing a whole group of young African American leaders to the White House.
Okay, so this is something that I talk about often, is that in many ways, what liberals don't realize that you put on that, the racism and the conversations that we have
So you're saying I'm a racist?
You haven't let me finish my statement. You keep cutting me off.
Go ahead.
Okay? The emphasis that you place is always on having a discussion about race. Okay? You guys are insistent on having a conversation about race and telling us that we should see, and implying that we should see race everywhere, and I don't agree with that. If you don't look at me according to the color of my skin, you would simply ask me how I thought that Trump was doing as a president. But instead, you try to drum up a conversation that's surrounded by race by asking me, are there enough black people in the White House?
You're bringing a whole group of young black leaders to the White House.
Color,
so clearly
I don't.
That's something that's important to you.
But why are you talking about?
Then why make it that you're going to bring young black leaders to the White House? I mean, this is sort of absurd.
Because the media,
this is absurd. You're bringing this group to the White House.
It's not absurd. I'm making perfect sense. You're just not following the logic.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear.
I'm trying to be extremely clear with you.
I know.
Bringing the black conservatives to the White House.
But you view me as a white
I think
liberal.
that you're not. First off, you put those words in my mouth, and you keep saying it.
So I'm not. It.
I said that the Democrat Party is comprised of white liberals. Is every person in the party? No, but you're not aware of the fact that you put these tones out into the media. This is why we have to bring the black conservatives to the president, because you create a narrative when you're on TV like you did today.
Are you comfortable with I'm going to have you on radio later because I have questions for you as well, but we actually have to get out of the segment now.
Do you think that language is helpful, though? I mean, just in terms of the national conversation.
Well, I could ask you, do you think it's helpful to ask me, just because I'm a black woman, if I'm comfortable with the amount of color that's on the administration? Do you think that that's helpful?
I think it's helpful and interesting to know your perspective.
It's not. It's you just trying to create an undertone that Donald Trump is racist, and it's wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
But listen, but Candace,
the reason
listen.
why.
No.
I just want to say.
You're looking at me on the basis of my skin color and making a bunch of, and making a bunch of. I did not remember you said that, and we can run the tape back.
I want to say, look, here's what I want to say.
You quoted a tweet and then you made it about you.
I appreciate.
So you were not added, but you were not added in that tweet. So do not say that I called you that, because that's dishonest. And we are on, and we are on TV, so you can run. Okay, so I did not call you. You're using the typical leftist tactic of trying to make yourself a victim, which is not something that I would like.
Hold on.
No, but we're actually well beyond time.
Well, she's making herself a victim and pretending that I came here and called her. So this is a typical leftist tactic.
So the race card was a quick turning point for the interview that left both of the women upset at each other. But what about transgenderism? Well, this next interviewer decided to ask the famous MMA fighter Sean Strickland about what he thinks about the woke ideas. And he even called him out about some tweets he made. But while he came for an apology, he ended up getting the opposite.
You're in Toronto. Welcome. Glad to hear it. It's been great.
Are you Canadian?
Of course I am.
Are you part of the fucking opposition? Are you?
I don't know how to phrase that.
You got like. Yeah.
Well, I did want to ask.
Did you vote for Trudeau?
I'm not going to say.
And let me tell you something right now. If a man says he's not going to say, like if you ask him a did you vote for Biden? He's like, well, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for Biden.
Sean,
so hey,
Sean, I'm glad you've had great experiences.
So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. The enemy of Canada.
Sure.
All right.
That's what it's got to be. It's got to be. We've got a pretty supportive community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said if I had a son, I would think I'd.
Oh, look, another. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says.
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse?
Are you? Let me know. Are you gay?
Could I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak man, dude. You're part of the problem. You elected Justin Trudeau, like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just pathetic, and the fact that you have no backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some shit that, go yourself, move the on, man.
That doesn't answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what and will know what they stand for. Are you?
This guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness, and now all of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right. Chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could at school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their preference. Like, dude, this guy's an enemy. You want to look at the enemy to our world? It's that right there, asking these questions. Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I still good with this? Did I cross any lines? A little. What the? I didn't say the F word. You just brought this guy in here to me off.
You just did, but just to follow up, I mean, Rick.
Did I say it?
You just did.
No, I didn't say it.
Right there, you did.
Different F word. Different. Yeah. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I like the. Here's the thing. I've never. You guys think I've ever shit on a man or shit on a woman? I don't. I like the. It's freedom. We still have it in America. We'll teach you about it. You guys don't have a speech. I'm surprised what I'm saying is probably gonna get. I'm probably gonna get the Canadian government to arrest me. So I don't give a who you. I don't give a what you want to do in life. But don't tell kids about it. Don't teach that in school. Don't your agenda. Don't try to brainwash people. Don't try to go past parents. Don't try to go up past all the and brainwash people.
So Sean Strickland was probably the last guy he should have asked about transgenderism anyway. Comment woke if you enjoyed this, but also like and subscribe to support the channel.